Hello everyone, so this is what we're going to be making today. It's a lovely light up Christmas shadow box. So to make the shadow box, it's a Hobbycraft shadow box. I cut 3 squares. This one that you can see I'm cutting the stars in is not right at the back, but it's at the back of the images, and then there's one behind that to cover the very back of the frame, which again is the white one, so you don't see a brown frame basically. I then cut a circle, as you can see on this one, in 2 of the squares. Obviously your size of squares will vary on your size of shadow boxes that you purchase. Mine is, if I remember correctly, it's about the internal measurement is about 15 by 15 centimetres, which is just over 6.5 inches, I believe. The very back white square that I cut is slightly larger than these because that sits at the back of the internal frame, which basically creates the shadow box. This is the row of houses and the Santa with his reindeer. These 2 are from Crafter's Companion Ultimate Christmas Compendium. The 2 size trees, they're just from another website. Can't remember, I think it was Amazon, or it could be Temu. The cardstock I've used to cut all of this from is Crafter's Companion Multipurpose, which is 300 GSM. This is the very back panel, which is slightly bigger. As you can see here, it's slightly bigger. I want the lights to go around the edge, so I keep checking it because I don't want to be able to see any of the lights or the string through the stars. I'm just putting it on with a piece, like some small cuts of double-sided tape, although I'm not taking one of the double-sided tape off so that it doesn't stick to the starry panel, so that if people want to change the lights, or they break for any reason, they can still replace the lights, replace the battery, although the battery pack and the switch will go on the back of the frame. So here I've got 2 sizes of trees. This is the larger one of the 2. And this is the back of the aperture, so I'm going to have 2 propped up with 3D foam on the back of the aperture, and then I will have 2 smaller ones and one of the larger ones on the front, again on 3D foam tape, of the same aperture. So that's the going from front to back. That will be the second of the smaller sizes of the square card, the one in front of, directly in front of the star one. So that's the 2 on the back. This is the one on the front. Try to do them at slightly different sort of heights. And then I put 2 of the smaller ones, one either side of that large one at the front. Again, they're all up on 3D foam tape, just to give it some depth and dimension. I put some Kalau all-purpose glue just below the 3D foam tape, and again I put it on the top, just to make sure it's got good hold and it's got longevity, basically, because I do make to sell, so I want to know that, you know, things are going to last for my customers. And here is the row of houses. I'm just making sure it all fits nicely in front of the frame, inside the 3D frame. And then I stick the rows of houses on the front of the front panel of the squares, and the Santa Claus flying through the sky will go sort of diagonally across the front. And then all of the layers will have 3D foam pads. I believe all of them are doubled up, so it's double the thickness to give it some good height. And around the edges I just thought it'd be nice to add, so I've added a few snowflakes. And then this is putting the first one on top. As you could see, there was some foam pads. Again, I've added glue to the backs of the foam pads before I put them on the paper, and I've also added the all-purpose glue on the top of the foam pads before I've added them to each frame. And this is the very top frame, just trying to get it in place, level, which is hard to do when you're not right overhead, and I didn't want to get my grey hairs in front of the camera. Nobody wants to see that. And then the stars that I cut out from the back, I decided to put some ice stickles, which is, I believe, from Tim Holtz, and then reattach them just to give a little bit of sparkle on the background. Although there will be lights behind that, behind the stars, I just thought it'd be nice to add a bit of sparkle. As it's Christmassy, you can never have too much sparkle. And then with the same ice stickles, I've just, with a pokey tool, added some to the middle of the snowflakes, and in various spots around. Put some on the Santa sleigh and on the reindeers. I also put some on the trees and some spread around on the house rows. Just added a nice bit of sparkle. It's almost like a glitter glue. And as we all know, at Christmas you can never have too much sparkle. Which, it makes the frame look nice, whether the lights are on or they're off. It just gives it a nice kind of finish, and a nice bit of sparkle. Let's face it, who doesn't love a bit of sparkle? I didn't want to add it on with a paintbrush because I thought I've got a bit more control with the pokey tool, because obviously it's got a very fine tip on the end, and then I can put as much or as little as I wanted to. I noticed when I was putting it on the reindeer antlers, although I did double up when I cut the snowman, Father Christmas and the reindeers, when I cut those out, I did actually cut two and stick them together just to give it a bit of rigidity. They do sort of try, and it's almost as if the glitter sort of weighs them down a little bit, so a couple of times I've sort of lifted it back up again, and it done the trick. And then on the frame I've used a flower on either side, and it's the Crafter's Companion Regal Rose. I start off making the flowers from the two smallest dies. However, when you see the finished frame, I've actually added the next size up as well, it was a little bit too small, and I've just put one flower either side. And here I am on the back of the die cuts with the larger of the smallest ball tools, just to kind of get those fibres moving, and then I will go in with the smaller ball tool afterwards and just giving it a little bit of definition, just so they're not completely flat. And then that's the smaller end of the two. These are the actual smallest ones from the set, and this is the very smallest one. Now the fibres have kind of, been moved and told where they need to go, I've added a little bit more kind of definition using the very small one. And then I flip it over and I just put the bigger one of the two small ones and just wriggle it around in the middle, just to kind of give it some more definition. And here I am having fun trying to get the glue because it's running out. I needed a new glue stick in it. Just trying to get a very small amount of glue on the back, which sometimes isn't very easy with a hot glue gun. And then put in two together of the larger two smaller ones with one or two of the very small ones in the middle. And this is how I make all of these ones. And like I say, I then add two of the next size up at the end, because I realised that they don't quite give the effect that I wanted on the card. And these are from the Crafter's Companion Regal Rose die. And then I make the leaves from the Sizzix die set here, and I just use these two, and I actually cut them in half, so I have the bigger stalk and then the smaller stalk. As you can see in this photo, they've just used the one, split it into the two. It was hanging over too much and I didn't want it hanging over too much. And then just putting them on there with some hot glue stick. Pressing it down just whilst it takes. And then just sticking the other one on. Again, holding it down for the glue to take. And then in the centre of the flowers, I add some more of the same ice stickles, which I do believe is from Tim Holtz. I actually got given them, so I didn't actually buy them, but I'm pretty sure you could probably still get hold of them. If not, you could use gemstones, but I decided that I would use this as I wanted it to match with the other bits that I'd put around on the frame. And that is it. Hope you enjoyed watching it. If you could give me a like and a subscribe, I'd be very, very grateful. It's a very new channel to me. And do come back and watch the next upload. I upload on Sundays. Thanks ever so much for watching. Take care and bye.